The pond, a teeming microcosm of freshwater life. Each cubic meter of water is home to thousands of tiny invertebrate animals. These organisms feed upon even a smaller assemblage of organisms, the microscopic algae which live within the open water of the pond. The microalgae taken with our plankton sampler include a variety of algae known as diatoms. The diatom cell is encased in silica. This glass house protects the cell while allowing sunlight to enter its yellowish interior filled with chloroplasts. The protective case has one drawback. It's heavier than water. Therefore, if a diatom is to avoid sinking, it must be equipped with some means of offsetting the weight of its protective case. The diatoms have two mechanisms for regulating buoyancy. One is the production of oil droplets. The oil, which is lighter than water, is used as a storage product for energy acquired through photosynthesis. Planktonic diatoms control the amount of oil they produce, therefore allowing them to control their depth in the water column within the pond. The other adaptation for open water life involves the shape of the case. The glass house has been drawn out into elongated shapes and spikes in these species, which act as stabilizers and help slow the diatom's rate of sinking. While diatoms hang suspended passively with the current, other planktonic algae move through the water column like alien spacecraft through space. The pond bottom harbors a different assemblage of algae. Here, the bottom is covered by a thick layer of green material which invites sampling for microscopic examination. The bottom sample is composed almost entirely of algae known as Spirogyra, a hair-like form of alga. Organisms such as Spirogyra are important to the ecology of lakes and ponds. Through photosynthesis, these organisms convert light energy into food energy which is passed on to the communities of animals that live in fresh water. Most algae are microscopic. However, there is one environment in which large algae are conspicuous, the edge of the sea. These kelps grow on rocky substrates. The hollow bulbs on the algae are flotation devices, keeping the branches of the algae afloat and spread evenly within the water column to better aid it in the collection of sunlight. Each algae produces what's known as a holdfast at its base, which attaches to the rock. Because of these wave shock adaptations, the sea alga colonize the unprotected outer rocks where there is little competition from other seashore algae. In more protective water, different marine algae occur, competing with each other for light and nutrients. Within their branches live a myriad of seashore animals which rely on these algae for food and protection. Some algae have adapted to a different ecological niche, the life upon an animal host. Others live within their host animal, in this case a flatworm. Living in intimate contact with the flatworm's tissues, the small green cells share food made by photosynthesis with their hosts. The flatworm avoids dark areas and swims towards the light, giving its guest optimum exposure for photosynthesis. It's what's known as a symbiotic relationship in which both species may benefit from their close association. Photosynthesis, the conversion of light energy into chemical energy by living things, is a basic life function. The process is thought to have begun around 3 billion years ago from a simple life form, what we know today as blue-green algae. Algae of this kind can be found living in habitats rich in organic material such as a swamp. In the shapes of very small cells, their cells have no nucleus, and their DNA is distributed throughout the cell. Cells which lack a nucleus are called prokaryotes. The word means pre-nucleus and suggests that such primitive cells are ancestral to nucleated cells. Present-day prokaryotes include bacteria and blue-green algae. Both organisms thrive in low oxygen environments. Cells having a nucleus are called eukaryotes. The eukaryote-prokaryote distinction forms a basic division of all living things. Bacteria and blue-green algae on one side, all other algae, plants, animals, protists on the other. The similarities between single-celled algae and colonial algae suggest stages in an evolutionary series, simple colonies finding survival value in their size. larger colonies containing cells specialized for different functions, giving rise to the earliest multicellular plants. Now we have the algae in a historical perspective. The blue-green algae were among the planet's earliest inhabitants, dominating the scene for 2/3 of the planet's biological history. Then, for the last billion years, algae-like organisms appear to have been the participants in a series of major biological events, including the evolution of eukaryotic cells, sexual reproduction, and a number of experiments in multicellular organization.